Howdy everybody, and welcome back to some programming with me, Grant. Today we are going to be working on setting up object collisions for our little alien guy, I guess. I don't know what he is exactly. Anyways, so let's get cracking. So if we come back into our player, remember last time we set up all of our tile collision systems, and I've added to my little project here a box that we have created an object for. So let's add that to the room and see what happens. I'm sure you probably know what will happen, but let's just give you a quick look. As you can see, there is no interaction whatsoever because, well, we haven't added any interactionability with it yet. Let's actually move this over here so it's easier to actually hit. And let's create a new script for our player here. And we're going to put this script before our move with tile collisions. And let me try this out. I have not tried this yet, so let's see if this works. Supposed to be a zoom, so that hopefully you can see the code a little better. So like I said, we're going to make a new script here. See. I can delete that. And it's pretty much going to be well, the name's going to be similar to this one. So it's going to be move underscore with underscore object underscore collisions. And just give it some title information. So our functionality, player underscore move with object collision. And we're going to be passing in a different variable. So with our tile collisions, we would pass in the tile map. For this, we are going to pass in the collision object. And of course, X and Y speeds as well. Like detect collision objects and move, blah, blah, blah. Have our arguments. And let's add them in. It's equal to argument 0. I'm sure x underscore speed is equal to argument 1. R underscore y underscore speed is equal to argument 2. And let's start off with, again, our horizontal collisions. And let's snug up to the collision object. So if place underscore meeting x plus underscore x underscore speed y underscore object. And I still don't know why this thing isn't highlighted. Oh, there it goes. Sometimes the highlighting can be a bit wonky and it just never highlights at all. And so let's talk a little bit about how object collisions are supposed to work here real quick. So zoom in here. We have our little alien guy, and let's pretend the blue outline here is his collision box. So if we come back over here to our sprite, of course see where our actual collision box is, something that we've set up with them. If we come over here and pretend the blue is our collision box, what the collision object code does is, if we come back into here, if place meeting x plus x speed y object. So what this does is it moves the collision box of this player to see if something will happen, to see if it's actually touching the collision box of another thing. So if we had it at x and y, it would just be testing here. But if our x speed is -1, then it will move our x -1 to check if there's a collision. It'll move not our player, it'll move the collision box by -1 to check if there'd be a collision if I was at that position. And And if it returns true, then we need to do some movement. So while not place underscore meeting x plus sign of underscore x underscore speed y underscore object, then x plus equal sign of underscore x underscore speed and underscore x underscore speed is equal to 0. Let's see, what do you, oh, there we go. Yes, I'm very good at forgetting these in parentheses. As you can see, I checked here first, but then it turned out, oh, it was right there. So you can kind of see here why tile collisions are kind of considered faster, even though it looks like it's more code in the end. It's because of a couple different things. So first off, we are ending up having to do this place meeting check many times because we can't actually move the full 4 pixels to the tile's box position, because the box isn't necessarily locked to the grid. So the box could be halfway in between the grid or halfway over here. So that would allow it to be in any position, and we have to be able to check for the box at any position. So instead of being able to check by x plus 4, we have to check 1 pixel at a time to make sure that we haven't reached our position, our collision position yet. So what we're doing here is doing that checking 1 pixel at a time while not place meeting. So if we are right here, while not place meeting x plus the sign of x speed, so sine of x, if we're moving -4, then that would be -1. So x minus 1, then move us that -1. Then do it again, do it again, do it again. Finally, oh, there would be a collision, so don't move it. And set our underscore x speed equal to 0 because we don't want to be moving anymore at this point. And now what we would do is if there was no collision detected, normally we would do x plus equal underscore x underscore speed and move our player like normal. However, because we already have tile collisions implemented as well, we don't want to do the x plus equal underscore x underscore speed at this time, because that's going to be handled in the tile collision. And we're going to do the vertical collision in pretty much the exact same way. If place underscore meeting x y plus underscore y underscore speed underscore object, don't forget the in parenthesis, while not place underscore meeting x y plus sign of underscore y underscore speed underscore object, y plus equals sign of underscore y underscore speed. So yeah, the code is pretty much identical, except you're moving with y's now instead of x. And underscore y underscore speed is equal to 0. Don't forget that. And last but not least, y plus equal underscore y underscore speed. And if you decide you don't want to do tile collisions, then you can just uncomment these and you'd be moving with object collisions instead. So that's our horizontal and our vertical collisions finished. And this code would run perfectly fine as is. Let's give it a try. I should probably actually add it to my player's code before I actually do anything here. And I'll just delete this little guy as well, because he's trying to call a non-existent script now. Let's see, where's my player? Yes. So add it in here. Var underscore speed is equal to move underscore with underscore object underscore collisions. And pass it in our collision object, in this case, object underscore box. You would actually probably use a parent collision object, like parent underscore solid, and make everything that you want to have collisions be a child of that. But in this case, I just have the object box. So x underscore speed underscore y underscore speed underscore, and again x underscore speed underscore is equal to underscore speed 0, y underscore speed underscore is equal to underscore speed 1. Trying to index a variable which is not an array. Oh yes, I should probably actually return the speed values as well, right? Yeah. Return x underscore speed underscore y underscore speed. There we go. Now it should all be working properly. Yeah, there we go. Zoom in a little. Actually, you probably can't see that properly at this when I zoom in, so I'd have to zoom out here. There we go. So, as you can see, we are now moving and touching that box. But there is a small problem. There we go. See? If we manage to hit this exactly on a corner, we still have a little bit of a problem. So let's go take a look at how to fix this. So the problem you see there with getting stuck on corners comes in because we are not actually moving the character during the object collisions. So if you come in right here, if you're right at this place, it will check to the X side and say, oh, there's no collision, so X speed can be 4 or whatever. And it'll check down and say, oh, there's no collision, so Y speed can be 4 or whatever. So then it goes into the tile collision script, and it says, okay, let's move down, let's move left 4 and move down 4. So now we're stuck in the corner of this box. So we don't want that to happen. So we actually do have to do some movement inside of this script. And you can ignore this code completely if you are doing the tile collisions. But if you aren't doing tile collisions, you can ignore this part of the code completely. But if you are doing tile collisions, you'll need to add in a little bit of code here to check for a corner. So we'll put in region, ledge check, found in region, and let's see, if place underscore meeting x plus underscore x underscore speed and y plus underscore y underscore speed. So it's pretty much exactly the same again, except now we're checking both x and y at the same time. Underscore object. Then if a collision is found, I'm just going to copy paste this code real quick because you don't want to see it over being retyped pretty much all over again. We go while, oops, while not place meeting x plus sign of underscore x underscore speed y. We do this again, except we add a little bit of extra code here. we need to also take our underscore x underscore speed and minus equal the sign of underscore x underscore speed. In this case, I'm kind of assuming that you are using whole numbers for your movement. So using speed fractions and whatnot to make sure that you only move one pixel, you only move in whole pixel numbers, no subpixel movement. Now, if you want subpixel movement, instead of using x underscore speed as minus equals sign of x underscore speed, you just say you would instead say equal to approach my current speed underscore x underscore speed to my target speed 0 by 1. And I have no idea whether or not that would actually be faster or not, but it probably is slightly slower to also include the approach script into there. So that's why I didn't include it in this case, since I am using speed fractions to make sure that I'm moving in no subpixel positions. And then if underscore x underscore speed is equal to 0, so if we used up all of our x speed, then break. We don't want to be in there anymore. And set our x speed equal to 0 at this point, because we might have a little bit of carryover. And first time when I made this script, I completely forgot to add in the underscore export speed and underscore y speed equal to 0. And I was wondering, why in the world isn't this working? I did all the calculations. It should work perfectly. And eventually I figured out that I had forgotten that. So it was still carrying over a residual amount of x or y speed that was causing the issues still. And again, come back and do the exact same thing with the y. So, except now we're doing sine y speed over there, added to the y plus equal, y minus equal to the sine of y speed, and if y underscore speed equal to 0, break, and get rid of that. So yeah, that's a ledge check there. And that will give you ledge checking capability, so you shouldn't get stuck in ledges. Let's take a look here. And zoom in a little bit. So, and try to get stuck in the ledge there, and stuck in the corner. And nope, no getting stuck in the corner. Yay! There's also a way you can customize this a little bit. I was kind of thinking about this. I don't know if this will be great for everybody's use case, but it might be a good idea for us. It might give you a way to kind of customize the movement of your character a little bit. So you could also, let's see if we zoom in again. If we add in a check for what direction the player is going, so if underscore y underscore speed is greater than 0, going down, then you would do this, right? Oops. So that'd be take you and I guess it doesn't really matter where you're at. So if the player is coming down, we have the X being moved first, then the Y. So this would cause a player that's coming down, they're jumping towards this ledge, they're about to hit that very corner. This causes them to catch on the ledge and move X before going down. So the player will more likely land on the ledge than fall. But you can kind of change this. So if you flip this around, so the Y speed goes instead of the X speed first, then your player would more likely fall than catch on the ledge. So if you really want to punish your players, you could flip it around and do that. But I presume you want your players to feel like they're having more fun, so you want the X speed first. But I was also thinking, okay, but what if we are going up and we're about to hit our head on a something? So if we are going to hit our head on this corner, so we're going up, 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 we would slide along this corner, but maybe the player might want to slide up the wall instead for, say, like ledge grabbing. that might be something more preferable. So in that case, then you could come over here and you copy this code, else then I actually put an else if underscore y underscore speed is less than 0 here, because you don't need to check for 0, because if y speed is equal to 0, then you're not going to need to ledge check anyways, because you're only moving in one direction. So in this case, we just flip these around. So that will give our player the ability to, instead of sliding along the underside, they would go up the side when they're going up instead, making it more likely that they'll do a ledge grab. So at least that's the theory. I don't know how well it works in practice, because I don't really, I have this in my game, but I haven't really had any practical opportunity to say that I really want this kind of behavior in my game. So no idea how well that would work there. But yeah, that's object collisions for you. So we have, again, horizontal, vertical, and ledge check. Ledge check is optional if you are not using tiles. So you don't need the ledge check if you aren't using tiles. But thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I really hope you enjoyed this. The Chip and Dale tutorial is almost finished. It should be starting to be posted starting next week. So it should be the GMS 2 Fundamentals will be ending on the 30th episode. It's not complete because, well, there's always lots of different things that you can do. I mean, I forgot to do parenting as an episode for one thing. There's plenty more that you could add to it, but I feel that 30 episodes is pretty nice right now, and I didn't really want to go any further than that. And it was kind of a timer for how long I had to work on my next tutorial as well. So yeah, Chip and Dale will be starting up on the next Thursday, I believe. I should be posting 2 times a day, Tuesday and Thursday, or maybe Tuesday and Saturday. I have no idea. I haven't actually gotten that far yet, figuring out my posting schedule. Anyways, good luck with your programming, and have a good day.